Thanks to Kimball International, who proudly donated furniture for the WJTS TV in.form set. As a long-standing commercial furniture company with their corporate headquarters located in Jasper, Indiana, they are dedicated to serving the communities in which they operate. Through their bold entrepreneurial spirit, history of craftsmanship, and commitment to creating personalized experiences, Kimball International's family of brands turn ordinary spaces into meaningful places. In standing true to their Dare to be Makers of Possibility purpose, they believe in empowering people to unlock their potential and bring it to life for their employees, customers, shareholders, and the communities that they support. Now here's 18 WJTS in.form.
Hello and welcome back to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Caitlin Nykum, and we've got an extra special guest in the studio today. There is a human under there.
There is.
Very exciting. This is Patrick Albright, and he is with the Midwest Mayhem Vernon Vanguard Armored Combat Tournament. This isn't just a costume.
No, this is about 80 pounds of solid steel armor made out of Ukraine, Russia, and Poland.
So what do you do? Why do we have you dressed up here today?
So I am part of the Vernon Vanguard, which is the Indiana chapter for full armored combat here in the United States. There's various teams across the United States. We're the most local outside of Louisville. And we are hosting on May 6th at the 4-H Fairgrounds in Du Bois County a all-day fighting tournament.
Very exciting. And so you're from here. You said you were from Lagodi, correct?
Yes, Lagodi most of my life, and then I work here in Jasper.
Okay, so how did you come upon something so intricate and detailed?
Honestly, it started off as what I thought was going to be a joke. Been invited to a practice. I thought it was going to be just a bunch of laughs, a bunch of fake stuff happening. Went down to the Louisville practice and showed up, and the guys brought out the real armor. And I realized it was the real thing, and the little 8-year-old kid inside of me that always read about knights and dragons just went crazy, and I knew I had to get into it.
So you kind of touched on it there. This isn't like live-action role-playing or LARPing, as some people would assume.
Nope. So this is the real thing. We're using real weapons, real combat, real armor. The rule set is actually based off of a rule set from the 13 and 1400s. King Rene of Anjou wrote up the tournament rules, and we still use rules based on his suggestions. So everything is historic. The armor is historic. Everything has to be dated. My suit is from about 1380 Italian.
Wow.
It's about as real as you can get. We're not holding back our punches. We're swinging axes like they're baseball bats.
Wow. So it takes a lot of strength, not only to just put on all of the armor, it takes strength to actually do the activities. So that's
a lot of cardio too. This thing shuts off a lot of your breathing. Traps a lot of the carbon dioxide that you breathe out in. So at one point you're actually breathing back in your own carbon dioxide. So a lot of cardio, and then just a lot of endurance. It's about 80 to 90 pounds of armor altogether.
Interesting. So you kind of touched on it too, that the this is originally a sport from like Europe and whatnot, but it's less common in the States.
Yep. So it started several years ago between Russia, Ukraine, and a couple other nations. Over time, other countries kind of got on board, and then some of the guys here in the U.S., they decided they wanted to go over, started up the USA Knights team. And then from there, it's grown across the entire country. Multiple leagues involved, all competing to get onto Team USA. And then they take the top 50 fighters every year, go over to Europe. This year it's in Romania in April for World Cup.
Wow. So it's the seriousness of this is pretty evident. I mean, it kind of falls into like a sports category.
Yeah. A lot of guys come from college sports, or they come from professional MMA, and they see this as the next level up. I mean, it's probably the most violent legalized sport in the country.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I hope it's not that frequent that you like see people actually get hurt with this stuff.
No, we have certain rule sets. There's statistically probably going to be more injury at a football game than you would for us. We don't make millions of dollars like a professional football player. We all have to go to work Monday morning, so we like to keep each other as safe as possible.
So I know that you kind of told us about some audience members that came up to you and asked about if you guys had beef with each other because of how harshly you guys fought.
Yeah, it may seem like that because we're hitting each other as hard as we can, but honestly, most of the time after a fighting competition, we pick each other up, dust each other off, and then we go buy each other beers after. It's got a really strong community. About everybody knows everybody. We all get along really great.
So it's a lot of community sense. I mean, it took more than one person when you came in today to put on all of your armor. It took almost it's yourself and then two others of us trying to get all of the pieces on. So it's like before you go and fight, you guys are helping each other out, and then afterwards, same thing.
You know, a full team of 5 guys can't do it by ourselves. We have to help each other out. Even get support in there that's not fighting. They still help us out. So no way we can do it by ourselves.
Oh my goodness. So is the community sense one of the main reasons that you do this, or is there other things that influence it?
Kind of depends on each person. I know I got into it for the historic aspect, but I really stayed because it was a good way for me to help with mental health. You know, it's one of the best stress relievers ever. You know, you're mad at your boss, not like taking an axe at somebody on the weekends. But the community you really pull together is sort of a family, and it's a pretty amazing group.
Yeah, and I mean, you touched on it a bit too, that you guys do a lot of traveling. It's not like just one season and then you're done.
Nope. So anywhere from locally, when we do local events, but we'll travel out to nationals every year to South Carolina. We go up to Detroit, all the way down to Nashville, Texas. Some guys travel out to California to take on the California teams. It's nationwide. Just a few weeks ago, I was out in South Carolina for nationals, and I got lucky enough that a lot of international teams showed up. So not only did I get to fight guys here in the U.S., I got to take on guys from Brazil, the U.K., Canada, Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very global, then it's probably something that's rising in popularity that people just don't keep up with because it's quite out of the box.
Well, it's more popular in Europe, but we're trying to get it up and going here in the States more and more.
So, in general, it's a community activity, community sport, but you put in all the effort to make the armor yourself, all of the cost and whatnot, right?
Yeah, so most guys are going to end up paying for a suit of armor themselves. Starting out, we tell people, depending on what they want to get, there's different suits and things. Starter kit's going to be about $2,500. It can go up to $4,000 or $5,000 if you're wanting a more advanced suit. About $2,500 is the starting point. Everything is measured to you, down to the last centimeter, and then it all goes off to armor makers, mostly in Ukraine, Poland, Czech Republic, Russia. There's 1 or 2 in Mexico, and then 1 or 2 guys here in the United States that help out.
That's crazy. Like, I mean, it's a small or big car payment, but honestly, if it's something you're passionate about, I could see it being a pretty good investment. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, the funny part is just the amount of money on a field at one time. If you have like a 5-man team, and there's 2 teams on the field at once, that's 10 guys. Each guy's throwing about $3,000 into a suit, so you're looking about $30,000 just for one fight.
You could buy a large boat or a house for that much.
Yeah.
But, again, it's the camaraderie, it's the sport of it all, and again, a good stress reliever. I think that was a pretty good point, because some people take their stress relief in a different sense. But I was going to ask, what's one thing that you'd want to tell somebody that doesn't fully understand, or really, if they're wanting to learn more about this sport or anything like that?
I would say come out and see it. I can sit here and explain to you all I want, but until you actually see the fight yourself and actually see the guys going all out on the field, it's a completely different experience. We always ask people if they're interested even further, come to practice. We'll get you in a suit of armor out of practice. Some guys stick with it, and next thing you know, they're hooked for life.
So yeah, I mean, you putting on the suit of armor and seeing you fight is one thing, but we've been chatting with you for a while now, and you're a really nice guy. I mean, it's very interesting to see where that kind of switches and whatnot. And I have a biased favorite because you're wearing our gold and blue.
It's a good collar
for WJTS. So I mean, that's always a plus.
It's a good collar.
I was going to ask one more time if you wanted to describe the Midwest Mayhem event and kind of like all that information too.
So, again, May 6th at the Du Bois County 4-H Fairgrounds, south of Jasper. Starts at 11. We'll be selling tickets. I believe it's going to be $5 a ticket. We are going to be having teams from across the U.S. come in, as well as food trucks. We've had a taco truck locked in. Fistful of Tacos will be there.
Very good.
The brewery out of Ferdinand with the monastery will be there, so there'll be a beer garden. So there's nothing like, taco in one hand, beer in the other, watching guys just hit each other.
Honestly, yeah, that seems like a full day full of fun.
The kids will love it. If you're trying to figure out, something to do with your husband's bored around the house, tell him come watch us fight each other. Right now, we've currently got about 50 guys from across the U.S. coming in.
Wow.
We're looking at the Florida team coming up. At least one team out of Detroit's coming down, and then all the local teams as well. Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, Indiana, St. Louis is coming out. So there'll be a lot of fun.
So
and
it's
different categories too.
Different categories. So what does that mean?
So we have two kind of categories. We have a dual category and we have a team category. The duels are one-on-one, and those break down into different subcategories. So you have long sword, kind of the sword I have here is long sword, sword and shield, pole arm, sword and buckler. Those are all 1 minute rounds, followed by a minute break, followed by another minute round. Whoever wins 2 rounds wins the fight. So it's all about your personal skill as a fighter, and it's all point-based. Every time you hit your opponent, it's a point. As soon as those are done, we'll be moving into the team melees. Those are going to be 5 versus 5.
Wow.
So 10 guys in a field going all out. And then at the end, if everyone's healthy and not tired and doesn't, they don't want to just lay down and take a nap, we'll probably be doing 10 versus 10s. So 20 fighters on a field at once.
I mean, as long as nobody's battling to the death, it should be a fun event. And I mean, I think children 7 and under are even free, so it's for the whole family.
It's for the whole family. Yeah, it really is. It's kids are going to love seeing the knights in the armor. We always love taking pictures with the kids, and then the adults always love just watching people just hit each other, wishing they were in the field doing it.
I mean, again, I think that's kind of the appeal of some certain mainstream sports too, where it's just like you see people kind of going crazy. So. Yeah. Over a ball, so this is a little bit different. It doesn't have a ball involved, but
it's not rehearsed. Nothing we do is rehearsed. We don't plan anything out. This isn't a game, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is an actual tournament. There's going to be gold medals on the line for everybody that shows up, so it'll be a good time.
Yes, not scripted, not acting, not anything. It's just you guys going out there with your armor and your swords and seeing what mayhem you can cause.
Exactly.
That's very exciting. I mean, it's something different that I don't think many people truly think about, but having it presented and just try something new. It's art in a sense, it's historical value, and it's, again, you're not going to see this.
If you like sports, if you like fighting, if you like history, if you just want to see something out of the ordinary, it's for everybody. Come on out.
Yeah. And so if someone wanted to look into the Vernon Vanguard or anything that you guys kind of do, what's the best way to contact you?
On Facebook, we always answer Facebook right away. We also have a website. You can usually find one of our phone numbers on there to reach out. And then we're all over TikTok and Twitter as well. So all over social media. There's always a way to reach us.
Yes, but you do way more than cosplay, way more than LARPing. It's actual combat, and it's very unique in today's day and age, but it's so exciting.
Definitely. Yeah. It's the only combat sport with more than just 2 fighters. You can watch MMA, but then when you get 10 guys in a list at once, it's something unique.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us today.
Thank you for having
of
me.
course, full suit of armor. It took like 45 minutes to get you all suited up and ready to go. So we're thrilled and excited to be in your presence. And, we're excited for this May 6th event. And, you're going to go off and do another fight this weekend. So.
Yep. So as soon as I leave here, I've got to immediately head to Columbus, Ohio, to the Arnold, being hosted by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So a bunch of us are flying in from across the U.S. just to fight for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, it's very exciting, and you can tell that you're truly dedicated to what you do. So it's been a pleasure for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you at home for watching. Again, the Midwest Mayhem event is Saturday, May 6, 2023 at the DuBois County 4-H Fairgrounds. So if you'd like to see something out of the box, definitely out of DuBois County, but in DuBois County, make sure you're there. And we are just so thankful to have someone as unique as Patrick here today. So thank you so much for watching at home. This has been 18 WJTS in.form. We're local people watching medieval local people.